Yeah, and but ask everyone to come, right? Uh, okay. Okay, so still there's some issues. I'll try to solve that issue. I think we had to install the extension pack. So when that problem happens at the visualization, if you go to VirtualBox, there's an option called Insert Guest Additions. I think this part anyway I had to go through, otherwise you will not understand the whole lot. So once you do that, you get a CD being added. So let me double click on it. So normally, if you come here, I don't know whether it's very visible to you guys, but anyway, just give me a second. I will try to solve it. Uh, so there's this exe you can run, or else what you can do, let me just check. You can basically Google. So you can download it by at your backend. So then you can do the present practical with me. Adding virtual, VM box guest image, guest additions through terminal. So once you search that, yeah, this should do. Now, please understand this Linux box is also a variation of Ubuntu. So basically, whatever the commands, Ubuntu commands, or what you call as Debian commands, would work in here also. So let's first check whether this is connected to the internet. Ping 8.8.8.8. Yeah, so that first problem is solved. Right, now I have to run that command. So still people are coming. Okay, and so this is the command. So normally we have to do a sudo apt-get update. So do you know what is this apt-get command?
I guess we have a small idea about it.
Okay, so apt-get is a repository manager. So all these Linux boxes had, I think we had to do a Linux session. Otherwise, most of the things you will not understand. Anyway, so then I had the password. Yeah, so now it will download or do update on this app repositories. So Linux is quite fascinating, and not like Windows, you can download all the applications from one place. So that's managed by this tool called apt-get, and yeah, and it maintains some repositories. So I cannot, I think, I don't know whether I can increase the font size a bit. Okay, I have to wait a bit. So now, so that's basic app repositories are updated. Let me check with this command now. Okay, okay, it worked out. Hold on. Yeah, so now it's getting added. So let's wait a bit. Right. So this you guys have to do, right? Every time you get a box like this, you might have to do those changes. And so then you can set up that box. Then you can keep the box always with you. Ideally in your hard drive. Sometimes if you can't do it with the size and all that, you can have your own pen drive set up like that. All right. So until we setting up this system, we start some theory content also. Let me open up the slides. Okay. So now what we are doing here today, right, is we are trying to access the memory of the CPU, right? This is quite useful. So this is called memory forensics. I'm using the pluralsight slides here. And to do analyze this memory, so now this is like our first instant we do a practical on analyzing anything, right? So this instant we are using, we are analyzing memory. So memory analysis can be useful for many reasons. Can you think of a reason why memory analysis is important? Can anyone let me know, please? Kitni, it's your day. So you can tell me like why, so at least one person is talking today. So why you have to analyze memory?
To find the history of like where what has been happening.
Okay. Yeah, that's sort of the initial logic. Uh, the thing is like it might not only be history, right? There are a lot of things running in the computer's memory. Right. So let me show you one such. Okay. So if you do example of htop, sorry, here it says top, right? So have you ever checked this command top? No, right? So what's happening here, Ketmi? Any idea? So a lot of commands or a lot of things appears here. Can you guys read this from the beginning? And I'll highly recommend you to watch this video. Let me show you. I can run few uh, and also share this in the WhatsApp. I hope that you know that I have my YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and you can search Life Tech Mentor. So if you go and search Life Tech Mentor, and this is the YouTube channel, and there are several videos here. I want you to look at this video. It's not part of the lessons, otherwise I could have done it because we don't have that amount of time to work on this. If you go on the videos, there are several videos in, I think especially I'll ask you to watch this malware analysis video. That's part of the lesson anyway. And there is a video, let me check, Linux processors. Uh, so if you go to this video, is 1 hour video, you will get all the information about Linux processors, right? Let me run the video a bit here and there. So there's some introduction about how the Linux process consists of. And so please watch this. I'm not going to run this. It's a bit slower. The internet is a bit slower. Uh, and if you go into this section, So like here, there's a quite a good explanation about how these tools can be used, top, and there are a few other tools. So please watch this one as well, right? So I'm going to share this into the WhatsApp channel. So please do watch it, guys. Yeah, so that's fine. So when you look at this, what you see, can you please observe it? What's happening here? You can see this, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can everyone please observe what's happening here? Okay, so what we're seeing here, uh, they are Linux processors. So as you can see, there's a PID and a command, CPU usage, the time of the process, and several other statistics, right? Other columns. So you can see PPID, state. So some of the processes are running state, some of them are sleeping, some of them even can be stuck, you know. So that's also can be there, right? Right. So these are the processors which are running currently in the processor's memory or the computer's memory. So we can capture all this into a memory dump. So that's what we are doing in this memory forensics. So what happens is we cannot exactly analyze all these commands which are running. Even there can be a malware running. We'll not be able to understand things when you are running in the live. So we can do if you have if you watch it a long time, but you can't do analysis, running queries and all that. It's hard to do. That's where you are supposed to do a memory analysis. So we are trying to do that and see today. So let me check now. And the Okay, now I think we are good to go. So now I can see the commands and things like that. Okay, now our environment is quite ready. Only thing is I need volatility. Let me check whether I have it already existing. If not, we'll install it. Volatility. It seems like I don't have it. So I'll do a sudo apt-get install. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I think I had installed it. Let me check the right command to installed. So then I'm going to install. You also can do that if you have the box with you. Otherwise, you can do it later. I'll do a sudo apt update in case it was not done properly. So this is sometimes a much needed command. So I done it earlier, but let's see. Yeah, it's okay. So then apt install volatility. Yeah, it seems to be all right. Okay, so it says it cannot locate it. So let me do some other thing. Just give me a second. If this problem appears, what you can do is you can download it from GitHub. So let me try out that option. If I don't, I have Git fortunately. So we can do a Git clone. I think you have done this before. With https colon github.com slash volatility. Please let me know if there's any spelling mistakes. Volatility Foundation and volatility dit. Okay, so it's cloning things. As you can see, there's a directory being created. Yeah, so now it's getting things down. Okay, we'll let it get downloaded. Okay, it's done already. So we go to volatility. So these are some of the problems. Yes, I'm running it on Mac. So if you're running it on Windows, you don't find any problems. And I'm a bit low in the memory side as well. Okay. Now if you go here, there's a setup.py which can obviously run. So we can say dots. We can say Python. It depends on which Python version you are having. I believe we have Python. No. Now we can just run setup.py. Let's see. No, it's not the exe. So then 3. Okay. No, it's a setup.py. Okay. Read me. So it has all the information. So these are a lot of plugins are available with volatility. Don't worry, you'll understand them. Okay. Let's see if there are any other install is there. Just check
Excuse
volatility
me,
with
sir.
this one. Yes.
Sir, in the when I search about that volatility, they said that it's work on Python 2.7.
Yeah. So just Python version we say. I think we have the we have the right version. Let's see. Okay, that's the plugins. Just give it a second. Yeah. Just hang on and okay. Let's see. Typing with. Okay, I think I had to clear the screen. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we do sudo Python and setup.py install. Oh, that's really bad. One at a time. Okay, that's fine. So you have to type it with root permission. So command is sudo python setup.py install. Yeah. So I think that would do that. So that's the installation command. I think that solved the problem, right? Okay. Let me check with volatility now whether it's working. Okay. Okay, that's okay. Hold on. Okay, just give it a second. All right, so it's halfway through. All right, let me check now. Right, I think it's almost okay. There are some plugins, it doesn't work, but we can try out that later on, don't worry. So that's okay. I think it seems to be fine now. So now what we need is, let me try out with this command. With info. Yeah, okay, fine. So that shows us some of the things that we scan, guys. So don't worry, we'll come to this. Yeah, so that will come to this. So yeah, it works perfectly now. Even though there are some missing elements that can be quickly work out. Okay, so now what we need is, we need the image to be analyzed, right? So we have the image to be analyzed. So where can we find the image? That's the next question. So what we'll do, we'll go to the browser. So once you go here, so still sorry about this screen resolution. I'll try to solve that problem later, otherwise it'll take a long time. So you can go to GitHub. So I think there's some memory concerns in my machine. So let me do this now. Let me quickly reset this machine. I'll double check the, yeah, I'll do a shutdown. It's very unresponsive. So what I'll do, I'm having a 16 GB machine here. So let me just quickly close this. Yeah. And then I'll try to increase the memory a bit. Yeah, so let me go here. Yeah, so the problem is 2 GB allocated. So I might need a bit more. So I have 16 GB memory here. So I'll add 4G. Like, yeah, like 5 here. 5 would be that bad. Yeah, so I'll do that. So now I'll start the machine. So if you guys have a Kali box, please run this with me. Not here. So if you go to Volatility Foundation, GitHub page, right? So when you go here, you can find out some samples. There are so many other places that you can find samples, but yeah, this is some where you can find a lot of good samples. Yeah, so once you go here, there are several samples which are available. So you can see as you can see, there are art of memory forensic images, macOS images, many other things, right? Windows 7 images. So what I'll do is I will initially get this Cridex malware image, right? So that I can download. It's 38 MB. So there are so much of practicals that we can do here, but we'll first get this one. So now we have the Cridex image capture. So now remember, volatility is not an image capturing tool, right? Memory capturing tool. It's an analysis tool. So now there are so much of other tools where you can capture a memory slot. So what's happening here, guys? Kitmi, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what we are doing here is we have already taken a captured memory from another machine, right? So it's already there. So there are so much of this content available. So now if you go to the terminal, Okay, there is some mouse integration issues. Okay, so let me reset the machine for a moment. Okay, it's giving that trouble. Okay, so I'll later on I'll solve that issue, but at the moment we'll work on this. Okay, so again, there's a small issue, the font size. Okay, let me try to. Yeah, so I have to manage with this size. I know it's very small. Just give me a second. So let me check whether uh, this works out. Yeah, so I think I have the needed memory file. So let me have to. So I'm typing the command sudo python, then the Python file vol.py, and then I'd give the command -f and then the memory file, which is yeah, credex and then vm em5, right? So let me check with that. Let's see what will be the output. So now it take a bit of a time, guys. So what it does is basically I am asking it to check the image information, right? So it's waiting a bit more, right? So this is an image. So it has to go through this and find information, right? Let's give it a bit of a time, okay? So now if you, it's possible to see, right? So I know it's a bit smaller. I'll explain it. Give me a second. All right, so what you find here now, when you look at that image info, right? So there you have, you can see that there are something called suggested profiles. So it's a bit smaller, sorry about it, but it says either it can be Windows XP, right? SP2 or Windows XP3. So one of those. So now as an investigator, the first step for what you have to do is to understand whether there's really this one is box is a Windows XP box. So these are just suggestions. So you can't 100% sure which type of box is this, right? So now before you even go into the malware analysis part, you understand what sort of box is this. If you already know where you have extracted it from, you know, okay, that's a Windows XP box and Service Pack 2. So that you know, right? But if you are not really aware about it, you can even judge, right, with some information. So that's normally what you have to do as a investigator, right? And then normally Windows boxes, they have the PE headers. That information is there, number of processors is there, and also the CPU information is there. So that's some bit of information. Don't worry too much about it right away, right? So next, what you can do, you can run more commands on this, right? Now, so these are all plugins in volatility, right? So let me see whether I can increase the size a bit. I'm not sure which key combination it works, so I can't access the mouse properly. That's the problem. Just give me a second. All right, so we have to bear this today with this size. Otherwise, it will take a long time to correct this error. All right, so now what we are going to do is, now we know we can judge this is Windows XP Service Pack 2, not Service Pack 3. So actually it shows Service Pack 2 and Service Pack 3. So now I can assume that this is Service Pack 2, not Service Pack 3, right? Can you hear me, Kitmi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do now more analyst. Now this time I can go deep into the process and analyze what sort of services which was running in Windows. Right. So now I'm analyst. No, I'm a forensic analyst. So I just want to know whether when this can be a kind of activity that had happened when there was a crime going on, cyber crime. So maybe there was a malware affected to the computer, or maybe there was a robot uh, join in, and then maybe a worm. So there are so many reasons. So I wanted to make sure how many processes were up and running, like I showed you in the Linux prompt earlier. So I'm going to run this command now, again the same command. This time I'm going to use the right command profile, right? And now the profile, I'm going to extract it from here, Windows XP Service Pack. So I'm going to type it in WinX right? Winx. So it's actually WINXP SP2 in caps, and then x86. That's the exact name that was suggested. And then I'm going to look for, now I'm using a plugin now. There are volatility, there are so many plugins. So there's a nice plugin called PS list, that is process list. Okay. So I'll solve this mouse integration issue next time. Okay, now PS list, right? So this one, what would it do? It will now scan through the memory. So that's what volatility is really good at. And it can show you all the processors which was there at that time in that memory snapshot, right? At that particular instant, what had happened really. Okay, now what you see here, so probably it's not very clear to you, but what you are seeing here is a list of processors that was running at that time. You can see the system process, smss.exe process, and some timeline also, and also this winlogon process, and svc host. I think this is a very famous process in Windows, svc host, right? And alg.exe, and likewise there are so many different processors listed. So this is the starting point of your analysis. So now we can see several Windows processors up and running. And the next command that I would really normally do is I'm not just happy with PS3. I'm going to get the, sorry, PS list. I'm going to run PS3 as well. So in the PS3, right? So I can get a tree of processors. I think you have seen this. This is available, I think, in Mac also. Let me check quickly. If I go to, or else I can even install it. Yeah, so I think PS3 command is not there directly in, yeah, it's not there. I can do a quick installation, I think. PS3, I'm not sure it comes with the Mac. That's a very common command. Yeah, I think we can install it. Now, what PS3 does is it gives the process tree. So which is the starting process, root process, and root process, who's the mother process, thereafter what are those child processors. We can get all the details with that. So this is actually running in my own computer, right? So it checks this computer, the MacBook. But now what we are doing there at the Kali box, we are getting that image from somebody else's computer, Windows computer. And we are checking what was the process hierarchy. Now, let me check this command now. Right now we can see very clearly. So what is the process tree, right? So you can see it's like a tree. As you can see, it's a hierarchical thing. So there are so much of processors here in this my machine, but it always starts with the, now this is Mac a bit different, normal root process. So they are in root starter something called launch D, and thereafter so many other processors, and you have a system stats one, and there's a sub process of that. So you can understand what's happening. And then here my Google Chrome is bit that's also eating out memory. So this is Google Chrome, and you can see how many sub processors. So there are so many tabs. I'm just not good at managing my memory using Google Chrome. So as you can see, so many processors, sorry, sub processors started. And Google Chrome in a way it's very bad because it started a different process for each tab. Can't blame the architecture, but that's how it goes. All right, so that's clear. So now that's what I'm getting here, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yes.
So what is the difference between that PS list and PS3?
Yeah, that's what I explained actually. So PS3 shows the hierarchical view. PS list is just a list. Understand? Just a
Oh, yes.
list. Okay. Oh, let's check whether I can log into this guy. Then I can connect from there. If that's the case, that'd be beautiful. Yeah, IP address 10.0.2.15. Let's check for a moment. If that's the case, that will be quite useful. SSH 10.0.2.15. I don't know whether to configure SSH. I think I had to configure SSH other element, so we'll not do that. So we'll work with this for the moment. All right, so that part is done. So now what I'm going to do, I can do a few more commands. Now I have another command called pxview, will list processes that are trying to hide themselves. Now this is important, guys, right? This command is quite important. Let me type this command. This time the command is psxview. So it's basically shows out whatever the commands which ran in that computer which try to hide the activities. Okay, so now what we are seeing is set of processes which basically tried hiding their basic processes. So this can be a good gateway for understanding what were those malware processes. So at the moment we'll not really worry about going through each one, but try to understand that's what it does. Okay, so basically in this example there's no hidden processes, so it's hard to see any new one, so that's okay, right? And then what you can do is there are actually so many other activities that you can do, but I will not do it because you don't see the process much. So let me go to the slides now. So you know the basics. So what is going to happen hereafter? Okay, so you are supposed to implement this, right? And again we'll meet up now, the whole day is allocated, no? So we'll go through some content also, then 11:30 you have the break, then I'll give you up to 2, like 2 hours, then 2 we again meet up. Is that all right with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you have to then configure all these things, and once you load it up, whatever the issues that we'll have we can discuss. So 2 we are going to meet again. Okay, so 2 to 3 we're going to have a session, or even up to 4 we'll try to work it out. Clear?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
So we
yes,
have
Isnika?
some hidden PSXV. We have some hidden processes. How it will show in that?
Yes, so we'll look into that later because at the moment it doesn't show any, right? So basically, if you see now here, everything is true, no?
Yes, sir.
Right? PS list and PS scan. So if you see anything that is says false, right? In the first 2 columns, that is a hidden process. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So everything is true here in the PS list, PS scan, but anything is there is false. So that give you a kind of hidden process. Yeah. So what we'll do is, like, in the exercise days to come, we'll actually analyze this malware in detail, in great detail. All right. So I think that's clear. Okay. So you have to do that, everyone. Anyone having questions on that? So let me kill this machine for a moment. Okay, I'll just shut it down. I'll reset it. So it's eating my memory out. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll solve that problem by 2 p.m. So then I can show you if you have any issues. All right, so now, so get your virtual machine. That's stepwise. If you go stepwise, you have to download the virtual machine, virtual box. Then you have to set up volatility and download the memory image. And then you have to do some analysis. Is that clear, hit me?
Yes, sir.
Others, please let me know if this is clear. So sorry, it was a bit slower, but I think this is anyway the processes that you will also go through. So you have to understand that anyhow. So where's our chat? Yes. If anyone's having issues, can you let me know, please?
Sir,
Yes.
so I have done with this in a normal command prompt in Windows, and I also got all the details as you got.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, but only is we want to do it on a virtual box, right? Because you're talking about malware and all that, no? Memory analysis,
Yes.
you don't have to worry because make a memory analysis malware but still do it on a virtual box, okay?
Okay.
So that's much better because that should be the way how you do it. Because other memory analysis, other forensics details, there you might find some issues. So you better to do it on a controlled environment. So it seems all right, guys, no? Questions? Any questions? No, right? So now, so we go through a bit of a theory. So it's a volatile, it's a memory forensics platform, extraction of artifacts in volatile memory. So it's developed from Python, supports on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. So what I did was I installed in Kali Linux. Of course, I think I can do a quick installation of that very easily here using my brew installer. Volatility. If you have Macs, I think you can do this. Let me double check. Searching. Okay, so did I spell it right? Volatility, right? No. Okay, there's a problem here. Volatility. So it's available in Mac also, so you can do all the testing there. Okay, that's fine. So I can do things quite simply in my machine. But I would highly recommend you to do it on VirtualBox, right? On Kali, because you'll be using Kali for many other activities. So set up your Kali box. Don't do it on Windows or Mac. For me, probably I will use a bit of Mac. It's easier for me. Yeah, anyway. And it's modular extensible. This is very important. The initial module which I use, the initial initial command that uses image info, right? Image info, right? So that's one of the extensions or modules. Then thereafter I use several plugins, PSList, PS3 and all that. And it's open source tool as well. And remember, this is not a hard drive forensic, it's a memory forensic tool. I believe now you are aware about this, right? So this is how it, the history of it. This is a great tool, guys. So I'm really interested in this tool. I think you'll also be, right? It was created by FBI initially, then 1992, magnetic media programs turned into a computer analysis response team, and then becoming more important with memory forensic. 2007, volatility is released, and 2011, volatility 2. Now we have volatility 2.6, right? So now we can analyze a lot of common Windows platforms. And remember, mostly your memory dump analysis would be on this. But still, again, try to see these are different activities you guys can do. Now, if you go here to volatility foundation, GitHub, memory samples. So that's pretty interesting set of some. I'll give you exercise also later on. Right? So as you can see here, we have looked at one malware, but there are several other. Right? So there's one called this famous one, this Zacker's Forensic Challenge. Shylock is there, and this is from this cookbook. There's a book actually. So plenty of things that you can analyze. So we'll try to do most of them, right? All right, and this is capabilities and requirements. These are the operating system it supports, and it supports these sort of memory Raw memory, Windows crash dump. Crash dump is something that you have seen when there's problems in Windows. Windows hibernation memory. I'm not sure what is this, mature files, VirtualBox code dumps, and many other, right? So it can do these things, process listing. So that's what we did. If you can remember, we list down the processors, you can get the network information and get the command line history and many more. So we have done a simple demo, right? So we have done this actually, right? Yeah, so that's basically the initial part, and we'll run the other one also. A quick look at the next one. So that will be about actually how do you work out any information from Linux memory. So check for profiles package, review volatility found. Okay, that's fine. So we have to look at this one actually, right? This is the command line basics for Linux, right? So it can look at especially network listings in Linux. Actually, we look at the Windows one, not the Linux one initially. I think this is this one. No, it's for the Mac. That's the one, right? So we'll have a look at, okay, this is how it works, guys. Volatility command line for Windows, it identify process listing, handles, and everything. So what we looked at was these three things. Can you remember? Hit me. Matakada මේ ටික?
Yes, sir.
අපි Windows memory අරගෙන PS list එක බැලුවා, PS scan එක බැලුවා, PS3 එක බැලුවා. ඊළඟ අපි බලමු ඔයගොල්ලොත් හදාගත්තට පස්සේ DLL list එක. ඇයි DLL, why DLLs are important? මම දසක් කිව්වද ඔයගොල්ලන් කිව්වනේ. Why DLLs are important? Because in Windows, everything is a DLL, right? All these things are handled in the DLLs, dynamic link libraries. So if you want to understand what had happened right or wrong, you have to look at the DLLs. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then the handles. So that also we can look at, and also image info, and that's something called KDBG, right? So we'll look at this. That's a kernel level scan. That's also we'll have a look at later on. Right, so there are some information about it. Don't worry, you are going to do all that. Right, so I think that's where we have to stop for the moment. So we have 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. No, we'll have, you want to start at 2 or 1:30? No, 1:30 I can't. So no, 1:30 I can. But anyway, we start at 2, right? Then I'll have a go through what you have done. So you can screen share your one and show what you have done. So everyone, please prepare up with your box. If you have big issues of downloading VirtualBox with the internet bandwidth, so do it on Windows. But I would highly recommend you to do it on Kali box. Is that clear, everyone? Get me clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I didn't get a screenshot. Let me take a screenshot now. This is class 5, right? Okay. Yeah, so I'll take image of that. So any questions for the moment? So you can ask all your questions at the session at 2. But meantime, if you have any questions. No questions?
Sir, will practical stuff be coming for the exam, sir?
Yes, of course. Why not? We should, right? Because
Yeah.
most of the things hereafter will be practicals, right? And also very interesting practicals. I mean, like, don't think it's hard or anything. Okay, I took a photo. I think everybody's here, no? And there are some people, Parami, I think you have not properly put your ID number, Danuri Waduge. So please make sure that you do it thereafter. Okay, I've taken the screenshot anyway. So this is 9:30, 11:30. Okay, guys, so shall we meet up at 2 then?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so please continue that one, okay? And try out looking at analyzing the malware bit if possible. So we'll try to continue that session and try to identify that malware Cridex, right? Cridex. We'll try to do it. Okay, so we see you at 2. Please continue the work, okay? And I'll ask you to share your screen and show what you have done. Continue the exercise. So what you have to do is understand the malware behavior, okay? Okay, guys, I'm going to stop for the moment. Okay.